Meanwhile, elsewhere in Berlin, police were clearing a pro-Palestinian protest camp set up outside the German parliament building. Police dragged away demonstrators. The group who set up the encampment more than 2 weeks ago said they wanted the German government to stop sending weapons and military support to Israel. Here's what protesters and police had to say.
So we've been here, what is this now? 16, 17 days, just over 2 weeks. And we've been peaceful and we've been harassed by the police every single day. They have given us just the stupidest restrictions. They have forbidden us from using languages that aren't German and English. They have criminalized us. They have criminalized our prayers, our songs, our workshops. And now their official reasoning for evicting this camp is that we had a sofa and that we are hurting.
The protest camp has been prohibited because there have been repeated violations of the rules for public assembly and criminal offences committed. The protest leaders did not intervene to prevent this from happening. So the protest has been deemed a threat to public safety. There are no milder measures to prevent more crimes like incitement to hatred.
Let's bring in our political correspondent, Simon Young. Simon, pro-Palestinian protesters in Germany say their movement is being unfairly criminalized. How are the authorities dealing with these protests?
Yeah, well, as you saw in this particular case, the police said there had been criminality and violence around this camp. And I think probably they were also a bit concerned because it was located right in the heart of the government district here in Berlin. But more generally, I think it's fair to say that police have often felt they needed to police these kind of pro-Palestinian demonstrations that we've seen over the last few months pretty closely, in some cases breaking them up. There is this allegation of incitement that coming from these protests in some cases, and the use, in particular, of banned slogans and banned images and so on is a problem. It can be difficult for the police to decide exactly when the law has been broken, for instance, with slogans that are chanted in Arabic or in other languages. That may be difficult for the police, or in some cases, for instance, when maps of the region, of the Middle East region are held up in the Palestinian colours, there may be problems. Sometimes they've taken a sort of precautionary approach, pulling people out or indeed closing the demonstrations down and leaving it. Of course, in the end, it's the courts that decide when the law has actually been broken.
Mm-hmm. We have seen pro-Palestinian protests spreading on university campuses in the U.S. lately. How strong, how big is the movement in Germany?
Well, I think it's fair to say that there have been many pro-Palestinian demonstrations, both before the 7th of October Hamas attacks against Israel and even in more concentrated form since. And some of them have attracted thousands, in some cases even tens of thousands of participants. Not in every case have they complied with police requirements that such large demonstrations should be registered in advance. And as I say, there have been the concerns about breaches of the law, about anti-Semitism. And so, there is a polarised atmosphere, I think, around many of these demonstrations. But the police, of course, and the authorities generally always say as well that they are concerned about freedom of speech just as much as freedom to demonstrate. Freedom of expression is as important also as making sure that nobody breaks the law.
DW political correspondent Simon Young. Thank you, Simon.